Welcome back to the Business Blast. This episode of the Business Blast. And the episodes of the Business Blast are brought to you by Satco. Go to satco.com, especially if you're looking to limit that line card. You want someone who's got it all? Go to Satco. That's right, satco.com. What's up, Greg?
How are you doing today? We got a graph on screen.
Yeah, I'm going to try to unpack something here. So what's interesting is that, and I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if it makes any sense. Okay. But I've tried to explain this to people in the past, and sometimes it's worked and sometimes it hasn't. Okay. So reality has a shape. Okay. So if you understand a slice of reality correctly, if you get it right, it will always look like this. That shape. Can you see that? That curve there, Greggy?
Yep.
It will always look like that. That's what a slice of reality looks like. A curve like that. Now, there's two theories, okay? One was invented, the IRS used it. It's called the Benford curve. And what a Benford curve is, it's like a principle that says if you have a bunch of numbers, 30% of them or 50% of them will start with 1, 20% of them will start with 2, 30% of them will start with 3. And then as you go along, by the time it starts with 9, very few of them start with 9. Isn't that weird? That most numbers start with 1.
Okay.
And this holds for your tax return. It holds for your Twitter followers. It holds for social media views. It holds for planets in the universe. It holds for distances from the sun. It's a universal, not a law, but it's just kind of like a slice of reality. That's what I call it.
Okay.
Right? And then there's something called the Pareto distribution, which looks very similar to Benford's curve. And you're throwing up Benford's curve and the Pareto distribution, right? You're showing those to the listeners?
Yeah.
Scott? Okay. Why is this important? Okay. So a Pareto distribution looks exactly like Benford's curve. Well, Benford's curve is how the universe is constructed. And a Pareto distribution is why the universe is constructed that way. Okay? So Pareto says 90% of all the gains of anything will always go to less than 10% of the people. Okay? So this means that, I'll give you an example. Let's take a slice of reality. Let's say basketball. Okay? So most of the people that play basketball don't get paid to play basketball, right?
For the majority of the people I play, do not get money.
Right.
Correct. Yes.
Right. So that's a Pareto distribution. So that means all the money goes to very few people at the end of the curve. So here's all the people that play basketball, and here's the very tiny, tiny minority of people that get paid to play basketball. Okay.
Sure.
So let's say if you take that piece of that this is why, right? Let's say you take that piece of reality and you re-expand it. So now you've gotten rid of all the people that don't get paid to play basketball, and you get only the people that get paid to play basketball. Well, guess what? Most people get paid very little to play basketball. And then at the other end, you have Michael Jordan and LeBron James and all that sort of stuff, right? Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say you take all the teams that have won NBA championships. Okay. You're going to have a bunch of teams that didn't win any championships or one championship here. Then you're going to have the Lakers and the Celtics and all that over here. Right? So most of the championships go to very few of the teams. Right? And then you say, okay, players that have won an NBA championship. Right? So now you're going to find out that, hey, if you didn't play with Kobe or Shaq or Michael Jordan or Larry Bird or LeBron James or what's that guy that shoots the 3-pointers out on San Fran's name him?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. If you didn't play with one of those guys, you never won an NBA championship. Right? So all the championships go to a certain teams. All the championships go to one player, 2 players, and then just the guys around them get to have it too. Right? So Pareto distributions, why? Why is the universe done like this? Why do we have Benford and Pareto? Like two things that come at opposite directions. One guy figures out that, hey, most numbers start with 1. And then the second most numbers start with 2. I just know. How do you know that? Just trust me, man. Go count anything. You'll see. And he's right. And then you have Pareto comes along and he says, 90% of the gains, when you get the slice of reality right, 90% of the gains go to less than 10% of the participants. No, that's not possible. It actually holds true for everything. Everything. Hockey goals, mass in the galaxy of planets. You know what I mean? Like it holds for everything.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not exact, but it's like there's still always this curve, right? And the question is why?
Yeah. Why?
The question is why? Well, the reason why is that when somebody is actually better at something, there is an accelerating betterness to them. Their ability to get past the 1s and the 2 numbers. My dad calls them, maybe they're not even, they're double zeros, my dad would call them, right? No experience in lighting, no experience in sales. He's a double zero. Double zero, right? So, but I mean, like once you get something, once you click it, once you get it, and you do what you're supposed to do, the gains are going to come to you so easily. And they should. That's how it works, right? But the problem is, Greg, so many of us find ourselves out here in Benford world and Pareto world, over here, the masses, right? And there's nothing wrong with being there, right? There's nothing wrong with being there. But how do you slide down the arc to get to be a number that starts with 9? To get to be a number that, you get to be a 10%er, right? And when you slide down that slide, is it just a continuously new curve where you find yourself on the outside looking in again, right? That's why it's a slice of reality. And actually, all these things are just circled together in a spiral. And that's how reality works. And so you're going down this spiral and it never ends. As soon as you get past one Pareto distribution, you get to another and another and another and another. And that's what's interesting about business. That's the game you're in with business. You want to get to that place. And as soon as you get there, you're like, I want to sell as many lighting retrofits as I can. And, and you get there and you're like, what do I do more now? I got to do this. And there's always these problems to solve. There's always more problems to solve. There's always more problems, right? Like, I'll tell you this, COVID-19's in a Pareto distribution. It gets all the attention. 90% of the attention goes to less than 10% of the viruses out there. That's for sure. That's for sure. Right? So, but I mean, that's what the world is broken into. And what's interesting is we as business owners, Greg, and I don't know if I did a good job explaining Benford or Pareto to people,
totally.
But just go do it, folks. It holds for everything. Basketball, teams, championships. You can do it. If you get your slice of reality right, it will always look like this every single time. Now, the goal for business is to slide down that slide and get over here. As soon as you get here, you realize you're back here again. You slide.
Just a constant cycle.
That's because it's actually a spiral. Reality is like a spiral, like this. Okay? And that's how it all works, dude. And people don't understand that. You're moving through the universe on a spiral. That's how it is. So whenever you're looking at a particular slice of reality, it should look like that. Look at your business that way. Why are you out here? Why are you selling less than 10% of the light bulbs, Greg? Why?
Right.
How do we move ourselves over here? Right? You automatically know that only a small percentage of people can sell most of the light bulbs.
Yeah.
We know that, right? How do you get down there? That's the question. That is the question.
Yeah, constant striving for being a 9. Is that what we're calling it?
Well, in Benford, you'd be a 9, so you'd be rare.
Okay.
Right? Most numbers don't start with 9. And in fact, it's a certain number less than 8, and it's a certain number less than 7. And it's a certain, so that's the construction of it. And Pareto's why, because not everybody can. This is also called the Matthew principle. Christ talks about it in the Bible. Oh yeah, even Jesus talks about it. To whom much is given, more will be given, and he shall have an abundance. But to he who has nothing, even what he has will be taken from him. So take from him who has the 1 talent and give it to him who has the 10 talents. Right? Like even it's called the Matthew principle is another name for it, right? Christ knew all about it. Christ knew all about it. He had to die for everybody's sins, right? It's everywhere. It's everywhere, dude. And so, I think as business owners and on the business blast, and I don't know if people are going to identify with this, this is not luck. It is luck. There's luck. Luck follows the same things. So the same principles. But what I'm saying is you have to identify that if you want to become very successful and wealthy, you are going to be a 10%er or a 1%er or whatever it is anybody's talking about. And anybody that thinks that you can get rid of that you can change reality so that Pareto doesn't rule and Benford doesn't rule anymore, you're an idiot. You need to get out of here. This is how the world works. It will never change. Communism will never take it away. It's not possible. It always works like this, no matter what. So as business owners, you may as well try to slide down that spiral Pareto curve and get to the top. That's what I'm trying to do. Greg, how about you?
Now that's how I got to take it. Buckle up and enjoy the ride, right?
Enjoy the ride, brother. And you know what? It is a ride. And it is a ride.
Yeah.
So it's a blast, actually.
A business blast.
This has been a business blast. It's brought to you by, hey, you know what? There's a company that's sliding down the Benford curve. There's a company that's sliding down a Pareto distribution. It's Satco. Go to satco.com, baby. They do the light thing. They do the right thing, and they're on the Benford curve slide with Pareto. Woo!